Mali soldiers arrested over coup allegations. What we know. Breaking tensions in Mali, several soldiers have been arrested, accused of plotting a coup against the very government they swore to protect. What sparked this dramatic move? Is this the sign of a brewing power struggle in Bamako, or just another chapter in Mali's turbulent political history? From secret meetings to alleged foreign ties, tonight we dive deep into what really happened. What's fact, what's speculation, and what this could mean for Mali's future. Stay with me, because the story behind these arrests is far more complex than the headlines suggest. In the volatile political landscape of West Africa's Sahel region, Mali has once again found itself at the center of intrigue and instability. On August 15, 2025, Mali's military junta announced the arrest of dozens of soldiers, including 2 high-ranking generals, and a French national accused of orchestrating a coup plot against the transitional government. The revelations, broadcast on national television by Security Minister General Daoud Ali Mohamedine, have sent shockwaves through Bamako, Mali's capital, and beyond. Described as a foiled conspiracy to destabilize the republic's institutions, the plot allegedly began on August 1, 2025, and involved foreign backing, pointing fingers squarely at France, Mali's former colonial power. This event marks the latest chapter in Mali's turbulent history of military interventions, raising questions about the junta's grip on power and the broader implications for regional security. As of now, details remain murky, with the government controlling the narrative through state media. Reports from international outlets indicate at least 55 soldiers have been detained, alongside civilians implicated in the scheme. The arrests come amid heightened tensions, following the junta's recent extensions of its rule and crackdowns on dissent. Now let's discover about the incident, drawing from official statements, media reports, and expert analyses to piece together the puzzle. Background on Mali's political instability. To understand the current allegations, it's essential to contextualize Mali's recent history, marked by a series of coups and ongoing security challenges. Mali has been gripped by a multifaceted crisis since 2012, when Tuareg separatists and Islamist militants seized control of northern territories, triggering a French-led intervention in 2013. Despite international efforts, violence from groups affiliated with Al-Qaeda and ISIS has persisted, displacing millions and undermining governance. The modern era of military rule began with the 2020 coup d'etat. On August 18, 2020, mutinous soldiers stormed the Soundiata Keita military camp near Bamako, arresting President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita and forcing his resignation. Led by Colonel Assimi Goïta, the coup was justified as a response to corruption, economic mismanagement, and the government's failure to quell the insurgency. An interim government was established under international pressure. But in May 2021, Goïta orchestrated a coup within a coup, arresting the transitional president and prime minister, consolidating power in his hands. Since then, the junta has repeatedly delayed a return to civilian rule. Initially promising elections by February 2022, deadlines were pushed to March of 2024, and in June 2025, Goïta was granted an additional 5-year term, potentially extendable indefinitely. This move followed the dissolution of all political parties in May 2025, after rare pro-democracy protests, the first since the 2020 coup, highlighted growing discontent. The junta has also pivoted away from Western alliances, expelling French troops in 2022 and turning to Russian mercenaries such as the Wagner Group, now rebranded as Africa Corps, for security support. This shift has been framed as a reclamation of sovereignty, but has coincided with accusations of human rights abuses and a worsening humanitarian situation. Recent months have seen intensified crackdowns on opposition. In early August 2025, former Prime Minister Moussa Mara was arrested for undermining the credibility of the state after expressing solidarity with political prisoners. Shortly after, former Prime Minister Choguel Maïga and his aides were detained on embezzlement charges. These actions reflect a broader erosion of civic space, as noted by UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk, who criticized a draconian decree limiting dissent. Against this backdrop, The alleged coup plot emerges not as an isolated incident, but as a symptom of deepening fractures within the military and society. Details of the arrests. The arrests were first rumored in Bamako earlier in the week, with reports emerging on August 11, 2025, of over 30 soldiers and military officials detained for posing a threat to the government. By August 15th, the junta confirmed the operation, announcing it had foiled the plot and apprehended key suspects. Security Minister General Daoud Ali Mohamedine, in a televised address, described the detainees as a small group of marginal elements of the Malian armed and security forces. Prominent among those arrested are two generals, General Abbas Dembele and General Nima Sagara. Dembele, a former governor of the central Mopti region and a respected figure among troops, was dismissed in May 2025 after demanding an investigation into alleged civilian killings by the Malian army in Diafarabi village. Sagara, previously hailed for her role in combating rebels in 2012, adds a layer of intrigue given her history of loyalty to the state. Security sources told AFP that at least 55 soldiers have been arrested so far, with national television broadcasting photos of 11 individuals identified as plotters. A particularly explosive element is the detention of Jan Christian Bernard Vézillier, a French national in his 50s, suspected of acting as a spy for French intelligence. Images of Vézillier, appearing alarmed in a white shirt, circulated on social media following the announcement. Some reports identify him as a former French lieutenant colonel, based on 2020 government records. The arrests also encompass civilians, though specifics remain limited, as the government continues to hunt for possible accomplices. The allegations. The core allegation is that the group conspired to overthrow the junta, mobilizing political leaders, civil society actors, and military personnel with foreign assistance. Mohamedine explicitly accused Vézillier of operating on behalf of the French intelligence service, claiming the plotters obtained help from foreign states to destabilize Mali's institutions. The conspiracy reportedly started on August 1, 2025, but no concrete evidence, such as planned actions or timelines, has been publicly disclosed. This narrative fits the junta's anti-French rhetoric, amplified since the expulsion of French forces. Analysts suggest the accusations may serve to justify internal purges, with Rita Liamori from the Policy Center for the New South describing the arrests as more of a way to intimidate than a legitimate coup attempt. Liamori further noted it's a continuation of the repeated unjustified arrests against critics, including journalists and politicians. Government response and statements. The junta has portrayed the response as swift and decisive. Mohamedine assured the public that the situation is completely under control and that the conspiracy has been foiled with the arrests of those involved. An ongoing investigation aims to uncover more details, but state media has tightly controlled information, broadcasting the suspects' photos to underscore the threat. This approach aligns with the regime's pattern of suppressing opposition. The dissolution of political parties and extensions of military rule indicate a reluctance to relinquish power, despite promises of democratic transition. International reactions and context. France has remained silent on Vézillier's arrest, with no official comment as of August 15, 2025. This reticence comes amid strained ties as Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger form the alliance of Sahel states, distancing from ECOWAS and Western influence. Russia, meanwhile, has strengthened its foothold, providing military aid that some view as exacerbating conflicts. International observers express concern over Mali's democratic backsliding. The UN has criticized the erosion of civic space, while experts warn that such purges could deepen divisions within the army. Implications and what's next. These arrests could signal internal rifts in the military, potentially weakening the junta's fight against insurgents. If proven, foreign involvement might escalate diplomatic tensions, but skepticism abounds given the lack of evidence. Mali's political landscape has never been stranger or more fragile. The arrests send a clear message, but also raise dangerous questions about trust, loyalty, and the balance of power in the military. Are these soldiers traitors or scapegoats in a much bigger game? Only time and the next moves from Bamako will tell. If you want to stay ahead of the headlines and understand the deeper forces shaping events like this, keep watching, keep questioning, and never settle for the surface story.